Last episode, we tackled... Wait a minute. What? What last episode, you're asking? Well, don't worry. If you missed the last episode or the previous one, it'll be up on the cards on the top right corner of your screen, or a link in the description. Anyways, we're going to continue from where we left off last time, and end this Ultimate Custom Night saga once and for all, as William or Mike, your preference, gets burned for eternity. Just to clarify, personally, our own theory is with Wiltrap, because he makes a lot of sense, like to be in this state. And if you want more on that, check out our first video we did on Ultimate Custom Night. Okay, hey guys, I'm Chantel from SmackNPie. You're watching The Guy Gaming Show and FNAF Theory series. Yes, it's officially a series now. And before we begin, feel free to hit that subscribe button as we upload videos related to gaming every single day. That's right, every single day.
Let me put you back together and take you apart all over again.
With all due respect, those aren't the design choices we were curious about, Mr. Afton.
There were 4, then 3, then 2, then 1.
Last episode, we mentioned that in order for Michael is an Ultimate Custom Night, you have to eliminate the thought of bite victim equals Mike, because then it'll make no sense. And for those who are wondering, what about Wiltrap's the one you should not have killed? Don't worry, we'll cover all of that. Hopefully in this video. Okay, in FNAF 4, we're given 2 scenarios. 1, a crying child, locked in his room at night, whose birthday party is about to happen in a few days, and that he's so scared of animatronics. 2, a foxy mask guy, who is supposedly the older brother, and the only family member for the crying child. Now, we're not going to go into details as to who we play in FNAF 4, because that's for the other theory, so make sure to subscribe with notifications on, but we'll definitely cover its events. Now we know that on Crying Child's birthday party, he got bullied by his own older brother and other friends. Now, before I continue, you might be wondering, how could you assume that Foxy Dude is his older brother? Well, out of all, he's the only one jump scared his brother twice. One in the living room, the other under his brother's bed. And if you're not satisfied with this, wait for the other theory. Anyways, on his birthday party, even though Michael, his older brother, was fully aware that his brother is scared of animatronics, because of some events that he saw, as the Fredbear plush says, remember what you saw, Michael still shoved him in Fredbear's mouth, causing the infamous event in FNAF, the Bite of 83. Now, before anyone asks this question of, hey, but he didn't kill him, it was an animatronic. Yeah, sure, but it was Michael, who knew that his brother is scared of these things, still did that, whether his intentions were clear or not. This event happened because of Michael, and due to that, Crying Child went into a coma. Now, I can make a clean timeline here, but again, that's for another theory. And that's why he's in purgatory state. Not because he goes on killing children, but because his own little brother. Michael's actions led him to this state, which is why sometimes when you die in Ultimate Custom Night, you see a child's face staring at you, almost like enjoying while you're there, suffering for what you've done. If you want more into this, here's another thing. Death coining Golden Freddy summons Fredbear, and the only time we see Fredbear and Crying Child together was in FNAF 4, which led to the same events that happened in FNAF 4, Fredbear animatronic, and Crying Child. It makes a lot of sense. Now, I could go on and on, but that's about it. There's nothing much to add here. I, personally, don't stand with this theory. This is only for you guys who wanted Michael in UCN theory, and there you have it. Now, let's talk about the important issue here. Okay, let's say we all agree on Wiltrap in UCN, and that this is his hell, so he can stay there and suffer for all of the madness that he himself created over and over and over again. Then, who's the one he shouldn't have killed? I think you all know the answer by now, only if you've watched the last episode. You can watch it yourself by clicking the card on the top right corner of your screen, but a quick rundown is that there was a 5th victim whose name was yet to be revealed, and with Survival Logbook and the 4th closet, the name was finally revealed, Cassidy. I want to ask you something. Do me a favor. What do you think when you hear the name Cassidy? Male or a female? Okay, what about Golden Freddy and Fredbear? There's a poll up in the cards. Go and submit your votes right now. I'll give you 5 seconds. This is important, so don't miss it. Great! Now, remember in the last video I said gender confusion works here. That's exactly what we need right now. You see, this game, The Ultimate Custom Night, is supposed to be the last game in the franchise. It makes sense, with FNAF 6, or Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, being the last in the main story, ending with all the animatronics getting burned, and Wiltrap going into a special place that the devil made for him in hell. Whoa, this is getting dark pretty quick. I just realized while I was reading this, hey, Smack? This is a family-friendly channel. There's no room... Wait, what's that? We don't even have monetization on. We haven't even reached 1,000 subscribers yet. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Speaking of subscribers and monetization, the growth of this channel is increasing phenomenally. We're already above 520, and we haven't even made a 500 subscribers special video. So make us all surprised by hitting that subscribe button and get this channel to 1,000 so we can work even harder to make the best content ever for you guys. I'll give you 5 seconds again. Fantastic. Now, I know some people get frustrated by this, and it's totally respected and understandable. Smack wanted to make this channel hit 1,000 subscribers by September 27th, because that's when the first episode of Life is Strange will release. Smack, you need to stop with the I'm a Life is Strange lover. At least in FNAF scripts. Anywho, going back to the normal video, now with Will Trap, it can go both ways as well. I'll explain both, and in the end I'll tell you which one I'm satisfied with. Ready? Here we go. Let me take you back all the way to Fredbear's family diner, even though I'm trying not to go deeper, because I'm saving all of this for the Mega Theory later on. But here we are, so forget it. In FNAF 4, we see Fredbear animatronic. It's the only time we see Fredbear animatronic active, which was in 1983. Now, I want to point out something. I was reading some theories regarding this on Reddit, and a user named Tyvant came up with a detailed version of what MatPat said in his theory of animatronic's mouth design, where he points out how dangerous they are. Because, think about it, an animatronic designed for families and kids' entertainment and fun, or more specifically, fantasy and fun, apparently are so dangerous that they're capable of crushing human skulls. And I'm not talking about any normal injuries, straight up human skull. So that means that there's some sort of psycho motive behind this. Also, I just realized how obvious this is. Wow, you can clearly see how ready we are for the Mega FNAF Theory. Anyway, the main point I wanted to make is this. William programmed them in the first place. Yes, I know that Henry created them, but William also made his changes on animatronics too. Need evidence? Everything will be on our Mega Theory. William programmed them and designed them to be deadly in the first place, and that's where the one you shouldn't have killed comes in. Now, let's try to put the information we just mentioned into both Bite Victim and Golden Freddy. Starting with Bite Victim, we all know what happened in FNAF 4. The child got bit on his birthday and got his skull crushed, which led him into a coma, and then he died in his hospital bed. Now, if you play Ultimate Custom Night and die several times, which I know what you'll say, yeah, you don't need to tell us that we will die. It's a fate everyone will meet. Anyway, you can see a child's face smiling at you, which I mentioned in my last video and previously as well. Almost like enjoying for what you're going through. Like satisfaction. Now, the question here is, how did Will Trap get involved in this? Well, as I mentioned previously, Will Trap intentionally programmed and designed them to be deadly in the first place. Will Trap's own trap? See what I did there? For other children became a death trap for his own son, leading to revenge for not just himself, but for other victims that died from Will Trap's hands, calling everyone for the last time and taking their revenge, as Will Trap have to suffer it over and over and over again, forever. As Fredbear's line mentioned, we know who our friends are, and you are not one of them. Why is this an interesting line? Because every kid who's the victim of Will Trap considered him as their friend. You can clearly see that in Fruity May's game, when Susie's puppy, as we discover from the last video, died, and Will Trap lured Susie and tricked her into thinking that her puppy didn't die, but rather was alive, and that he knows where he is, which led to Susie's death. Even the fourth closet mentioned that, very explicitly, on page 203. Michael pointed to a single picture propped up against the wall. It showed 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls, standing together in a cheerful pose, with a yellow rabbit standing behind them. I know this picture, Carlton said slowly. His mind was still foggy as he tried to grasp at the answer. It only slipped further away. Who is that? Carlton whispered, pointing to the rabbit. He's our friend, Michael smiled. And again, on page 204. Who is that? Carlton directed her attention to the yellow rabbit, flickering in and out of existence. That's our friend! He helped me find my puppy! She exclaimed, before running off again. There you go. Bite Victim is the one you shouldn't have killed. Even gender confusion can be eliminated from here, since Bite Victim was a boy, and as we learned from Withered Chica's voice line, I've seen him, the one you shouldn't have killed. But then here comes the second part. If Bite Victim is the one you, or Will Trap, shouldn't have killed, then why, after beating 4920 mode, Scott showed us Golden Freddy cutscene? Why in Old Man Consequences you see Golden Freddy? Well, here comes my second theory regarding Golden Freddy. Now, as we mentioned in our last video, the 5th victim, Cassidy from 5 MCIs is the only candidate left for Golden Freddy. Now, I want to take you back all the way to FNAF 1. We had 4 core animatronics: Freddy, Foxy, Bonnie, and Chica. And as again from our last video, we came to the point of these 4 becoming the 5 MCI: Gabriel, Jeremy, Fritz, and Susie. But then, even in FNAF 1, we had Golden Freddy. All the way back to FNAF 1, the time where Scott didn't have all this so darn complicated lore and secrets, he still had plans for Golden Freddy. He must. And since from FNAF 1, most people didn't even focus that much on Golden Freddy. That's why the final book, Survival Logbook, and final game, Ultimate Custom Night, is supposed to be Golden Freddy's turn. Allow me to explain. In the last video, we came to the point that Cassidy is the last victim, and I think that she got killed on her birthday. Not to be confused with Bite victims. On Happiest Day minigame, when Puppet presented a cake to Golden Freddy, and every soul rested, except Golden Freddy's. Here's why. Even though we can say that this party was for Bite victim, still, Golden Freddy was there, meaning that Bite victim can't be Golden Freddy. I'm not going to go into details, saving that for Mega Theory, but the 5 first victims incident happened before Bite of 83, and those souls possessed core 4, now 5 animatronics: Freddy, Foxy, Bonnie, Chica, and Golden Freddy. One more detail adding, now that Smack's proofreading the script, in our last video, one of you guys commented about Fredbear's jump scare audio and Old Man Consequences, where if you play around with the audio, MatPat's audio was the clear out of all. You can hear some weird voice. Now, it's really hard to make up what it's actually saying, but out of 3 lines, there's only one that we can all agree on. There is more fantasy and fun where I came from. Ringing any bells? Go back to phone call in FNAF 1.
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a magical place for kids and grown-ups alike, where fantasy and fun come to life.
The first game, and the first time Golden Freddy was shown or mentioned. This makes so much sense. Fantasy and fun in FNAF 1 Pizzeria, and Fredbear reminding Wiltrap of that place and the promise that it made with kids and families. And about Old Man's Consequences, it's so hard to make what it's saying, but again, the one you can hear, I hate Mike. Out of all, these 2 make sense, but not for this theory. But still, let me give you a quick thing for it. It sounds like someone is in extreme pain, calling out someone the one who's making the sound, hates so much, as if that person is the reason why he's here, or whatever state he's in. Now, I don't think I need to explain it more. In Ultimate Custom Night, there's a feature called Death Coin, which used to eliminate a specific character of your choice for the night, but Death Coining Golden Freddy, you don't eliminate him, you get jump scared by Fredbear, which reminds you of Same Pizzeria, where fantasy and fun come to life, and exactly where William takes life from kids who wanted their fantasy and fun to come to life. Again, more details saved for later. Anyways, with that information, and Old Man Consequences minigame, and 4920 mode cutscene, it shows Golden Freddy twitching in the dark, which confirms that Golden Freddy is the one you shouldn't have killed. Boom, bam. What else do you possibly need? Isn't this good enough for you? Well, if it isn't, wait for our mega... Wow, how many times we'll create hype for our Mega Theory, Smack? What's wrong with you? I know that you're working hard for it, but come on, we all know. It's coming soon, we'll wait. Now please stop with this. One more thing I want to add before finishing this. When you talk to Old Man Consequences, he tells you, Golden Freddy, that leave the demon William to his demons. Fearful reflection or nightmare he has created. There is nothing else. Meaning that he's getting what he deserves. And he will, for eternity, rest your own soul. As we knew that, out of all, only Golden Freddy's soul was left to be rested. And when you cleanse its soul, the game crashes. Why? This isn't like, hey, you just unlocked a secret minigame related to lore. Now come back. No, it literally means the end of it. William is suffering for his actions in hell, and you don't have to be there or watch it anymore. Rest your own soul. And that's when Golden Freddy listens to OMC, and it's over. Everyone finally rests. Now, I know what you're all thinking, but still, after 4920, his suit was twitching. Doesn't it mean that he hasn't rested yet, or hasn't found peace? Well, my friend, that's actually a really good question, which we'll answer later, because this scene can be misinterpreted here by me as well. I have to be very careful with this. This actually ties into the original FNAF lore. Okay, that leaves us with only one thing, and that is the cutscenes, the anime ones. And OMG, am I making this harder for myself? This script is really getting out of hand, more than the last one. Okay, I'll try. Let's talk about High School Toy Chica cutscenes first, because they're easier to make it. After beating your own scores, you are presented with intermissions that show you a small FNAF anime scene of either Toy Chica or Freddy Foxy. In Toy Chica scenes, every day in FNAF High School, she fell in love with anyone, literally anyone that sits in front of her. Over the course of the game, there are 7 scenes, meaning that there are 7 characters she falls in love with, and basically she goes on to say that she got some plans, different for each, to make them hers, forever. She even mentions Puppy. And at the end of every scene, she says, there is only one thing that could possibly go wrong. I don't know, Scott. You tell me. William making plans for killing kids? What could possibly go wrong? Anyways, this is a direct line to William and his plans to kill children, and how he's not satisfied with one and goes on to kill more, making new plans, just as we know from Sister Location, new animatronics designed specifically to lure kids. And at the end, even with all the killings, he's still not satisfied. His victims refused to stay dead, which led to his own death. Or deaths. There you go, that's it. Last video on Ultimate Custom Night. Even though I do have a lot of things to say for this game, I can't. I won't, because at this point, it's just a drag. I'd rather make a full timeline or story videos instead of stretching this one game. Oh, and last tip, I know I said it before, but just to add some info on Freddy Foxy scenes, I'm gonna copy something MatPat did, and that is speeding up for this part. You can slow it down from your side if you want to. Ready? Here we go.
In Freddy Foxy scenes, you are presented with a rivalry kind of scenario, where Freddy tries everything he can to defeat Foxy, but he fails every time. You can see he fails because Foxy knows that he's going to attack, and not just that, but he knows how he's going to attack. Birthday was mentioned. Foxy seemed to be inexperienced and dominant throughout the end. Freddy says the air is ripe for revenge, and the blood on the fox's hands will finally be scrubbed off with a scouring pad of justice. Also, at the end of every cutscene, Foxy reminds him that if he wished to suffer, maybe there's a better way, and he will not forget this night. All of this points to a few things, and we can take a few routes here. First, with weaker point. That is, that this might be between Bite Victim and his brother. Bite Victim representing Bear as Fredbear and Fredbear Plush from FNAF 4. You can even see that Bite Victim wears blue, as we learned from FNAF 4. The bear in the cutscenes also wears the same. Same goes for Foxy. We know that in FNAF 4, his older brother wears Foxy masks and jeans. And if your mic is not Bite Victim, then it's more great for you, because you can see that Fox in these scenes is shirtless with jeans. And what do we see in FNAF SL? When Mike pukes Anard and comes back to life. That's right, shirtless with jeans. It's not a coincidence. This is Scott, but then again, this is Scott. So the more obvious means there's a less chance that this is true, which led me to my second point, a rivalry between Henry and William. They know each other, and that line I mentioned before, the air is ripe for revenge, and the blood on the fox's hands will finally scrub off with a scouring pad of justice. That's Henry's anger for William's murders that he did, and Henry wants to put an end to this. But even in FNAF 3, after the fire, he came back to life, from dead, which points to the scene of, but the fox is cunning, devious, and has continued to somehow escape my grasp. It shows very obvious connection to William escaping fire in FNAF 3, and now that was with the subtitles. Now, without subtitles, the story is on another level. In job posting, Scott specifically mentioned that this job is for a parody of an anime about samurai. The dialogue is somewhat silly, but I wanted to sound authentic and very serious. And, thanks to Reddit user Moon Mercy, we found the translation somewhat close. Even with the translation, there's not enough in there as well, except for one part that really stands out. Do you think you hit the basket? They were really angry, and at the same time that it was thrown into the water, they came for me. The smell was terrible, and in my last moments, I sank there. When I was there, I think I got a vision. I met with my ancestors. And then later, in the end, I have obtained one thing. When I asked if I could take my leave, they made me wake up. I returned to the water's surface and swam home, but didn't achieve a result. You will never make the ancestors angry. Right now, I have a mouth behind my shoulder. Last night, I dreamt of floating in space. Right after that, I stood up straight and fell into an ocean of stars, landing as if there was an invisible bed underneath. That carried me through the darkness. When I woke up, I thought that this was a vision from beyond death. I was watching to see what would come. My ancestors. Feeling any connection with Will Trap here? If not, just give me some time to decode these lines and I'll add them to the next theory. You can either go with Mr. Hippo's story of, story is just a story. You try to find meaning into it, and basically it's nothing, and meaningless. Or you can go with the one I mentioned. Regardless, these two theories I mentioned fit perfectly with Bear and Fox cutscenes, and it's up to you to choose whichever you like.
Whew, that was a lot, and I mean a lot. Too much reading from my side, too much writing from the other side, which means too much editing. So every like is definitely appreciated. With that, Ultimate Custom Night finally comes to an end, with Smack beating 50-20 mode and getting a freaking Toy Chica cutscene. Really? Just a writer's note, I'm so relieved that I'm literally done with Ultimate Custom Night, beating 50-20 mode, and now Theory. I'm just happy it's done. Also, just a side note again, we're trying to get Bendy and the Ink Machine theories as well. At first we thought it was too late to jump in, but with a new teaser neatly pulled and Chapter 5 still to come, I think we can make a few of those. Also, we're trying to make a Life is Strange theory video before August 20th, alongside Detroit Become Human as well. So it's a big month. August, if you don't know, is a special month. It's Smack's month. month, that's all. So if you want us to cover any games theory, just let us know. We'll go out of our way to make one. Anyways, this was our last Ultimate Custom Night video, so make sure to subscribe and help this channel to get 1,000 subscribers. I know it's a lot to ask, but with the amount of hours and dedication and effort that we're putting into these videos, it's definitely needed. But more importantly, your support is just mind-blowing. We upload videos here thinking that someone might like it, and then there you are, coming in force to support us. It's crazy and insane. We can't thank you enough. You guys deserve better, and that's why we're working on a Mega FNAF Theory. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, which I'm pretty sure you are, because if you did, hit that like button, smash it, destroy it, and if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now. And I will, of course, see you all in the next one. So until then, take care and keep FNAFing, and peace!